Part 76. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 751. Lu Ligan arrived at the Sanbeo factory and saw Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen asked, "What are you doing? Why are you so crazy in the middle of the night?" Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen said, "I thought of it." "What did you think of?" Zhang Chen asked. "I want to build a building taller than the Hangchen building at the Spring Factory," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen was taken aback and cursed, "Are you crazy? Another Jinghai International Financial Center? No, listen to me. From the market research in the past 2 days, it seems that Jianfang is right, and you are also right. On Jiangguo North Road, just as you said, I will build it one phase at a time. After selling out one phase and building another, I have a lot of patience. Screw it, I will wait for the people's demand for housing to slowly increase. There are so many new companies registered in Hangzhou every day, and they are all crowded into hotels. There is no decent office building yet. I don't believe there is no such demand. At the Spring Factory, I decided not to build residential buildings, but commercial and residential buildings building. Did you think of this because of your hot head, or were you stimulated by something?" Zhang Chen asked. "Intuition, my intuition tells me that there will be such demand in Hangzhou, not only in Hangzhou, but also in the surrounding areas of Hangzhou, including so many companies in the province. They have foreign businessmen and customers from all over the country. It is inconvenient or too ugly to go to the factory. They also need to have such a point in Hangzhou as the company's window to the outside world. The location of the Spring Factory is right next to the canal. It has a wide view and convenient transportation. If we build an office building, do you think it is the best location? Do you want to build office buildings or commercial and residential buildings?" "There is a difference," Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan thought for a moment and said that it would be better to use commercial and residential buildings. Office buildings may be too advanced. If someone buys an office building from me, they still need to find another place to live. Commercial and residential buildings can be solved." Zhang Chen pondered for a moment and then said, "From the location, it is really suitable for building commercial and residential buildings, but I don't know if there is such a demand." "Ignore him, stand up quickly," Lu Ligan shouted. "What?" Zhang Chen asked. "Follow me, I will take you to see that place now and feel what it would be like if there was a shining building there." Zhang Chen laughed, "Damn you, you are still shining." Don't laugh, hurry up and leave," Lu Ligan shouted. Zhang Chen stood up and followed him out. Wen Wen and Qian were in the distribution center. They heard the sound of a car outside. When they walked out, they saw Lu Ligan driving away. The two of them stood there and looked at each other. "What happened? Did you leave us here?" Lu Ligan drove the car to the Zongbei Bridge and stopped the car. The two people got out of the car and Lu Ligan shouted, "Zhang Chen, look at it. If a skyscraper were erected right there, would it light up this dark place? Imagine what it would be like if the lights in that area were reflected in the canal." Zhang Chen was also infected by Lu Ligan. He also felt that it would be great if there was a bright building here. The two of them then went to the Spring Factory. As they were walking from the wooden corridor to the pavilion, Zhang Chen suddenly had an idea. He said, "Keep this place. This wooden corridor and the pavilion should remain intact. Be preserved dynamically. Where will my house be built? The back. If it doesn't work, just make it elevated below. In this way, you have a building that combines ancient and modern. That's cool. Okay, let's do it like this. You can help me with the renderings." Zhang Chen said yes. The two returned to Sanbeo. As soon as they entered the office, Wen Wen and Qian ran in. Lu Ligan said, "Don't disturb us now, you go to the distribution center." "Zheng Huiyang and the others are getting off work," Wen Wen said. "Then go to Wei Venfang's place. They are not off duty." What fun do they have there? It's so filthy, Wenwen said. Then go to the workshop and learn to weave hems or step on the sewing machine if you have nothing to do. Just don't disturb us, Lu Ligan said. You. Wenwen was about to get angry, but she restrained herself when she saw that Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen looked like they had something serious to discuss. Then give me the car keys, and we'll let Lao Wan teach us how to drive, Wenwen said, and Lu Ligan threw the car keys over. Lu Ligan picked up the phone on the table and dialed a series of numbers. After the phone rang a few times, a woman's voice came. Lu Ligan asked. Hey, is this Wenwen? Yes, I am. Who are you? Zhang Chen was surprised. Why did Wenwen come out again? Lu Ligan said, I am Lu Ligan. Wenwen, is Mr. Han here? Ah, it's you. Old Han was still saying 2 days ago that he didn't know where you were, Wenwen shouted, and she heard someone behind her ask, whose phone number is it? That Mr. Lulu Li. Before Wenwen could finish her words, Mr. Han grabbed the phone and shouted, Mr. Lu, is it you? Where are you now? Hello, Mr. Han, I'm in Hangchen now, haha, I knew you would still be in Haikan. Yes, once you get used to it, you don't want to move anymore. How are you now? Lu Ligan agreed that he would still be engaged in real estate in Hangzhou, and Mr. Han would come over to give guidance at some time. Mr. Lu is too polite. Let's exchange some guidance, Mr. Han said. After the new year, the Shanghai municipal government wants to invite me over and wants me to give them a lecture on real estate. Hangzhou is very close to Shanghai. Right? I'll go to your place then. Lu Ligan said, yes, I will pick you up in Shanghai then. Mr. Han, are Jason and the others still in Haikan? Lu Ligan asked. They have withdrawn to Hong Kong long ago. What else can they do in Haikan now? Then can you tell me Jason's contact information in Hong Kong? Okay, wait a minute, I'll look for you. Lu Ligan looked around, and Zhang Chen threw the pen and paper over. Mr. Han told Jason their contact information, and Lu Ligan also told Mr. Han his cell phone number and office phone number, asking him to make sure to call him when he came to Shanghai. Lu Ligan put down the phone, and Zhang Chen asked him, what do you want to do? Let Jason and the others help me design it. If I want to do it, I must make it the best and find the best design company. Have you made up your mind to do this? Yes, I have made up my mind. I just want to build a building taller than the Hangcheng building there. I just want to be the first, Lu Ligan shouted. Zhang Chen looked at him and felt that it was useless to say anything else. It seemed that he had made up his mind to do it. Zhang Chen wanted to stop him, but he felt that the reasons he could think of were all insignificant and there were none use. That bright building also attracted and stimulated Zhang Chen. In fact, deep down in his heart, he and Lu Ligan had many things in common. That night, Zhang Chen stayed up all night and drew the effect. In the meantime, he rode a bicycle from Sanbeo to Zongbei Bridge. He stood there, looking at the spring factory in the dark, and finished 2 bottles. Smoke, on the way back, in the biting cold wind, the bright building always warmed him. Looking up through the sparse branches above the head, the half-circle moon is desolate and peaceful. 3 days later, Jason flew from Hong Kong to Shanghai. At that time, there were no planes from Hong Kong to Hangzhou. Lu Ligan went to Shanghai Hongqiao Airport to pick him up. When he returned to Hangzhou, Jason saw Zhang Chen. Both of them were some excitement. The 3 of them went to the site to have a look first. After Jason had an idea of the site, Lu Ligan showed Jason the renderings designed by Zhang Chen. As soon as Jason saw the preserved corridor and pavilion, he shouted, "That's right, that's it. When I was at the scene, I felt that something should be left here, otherwise it would be a pity, so this is the right thing," Jason shouted. The original old house of the spring factory was built next to the canal, and the entire land was a long strip. Jason told them that this would not make it a single building. Why? Lou Ligon asked. The length of the entire building is too wide and the depth is too narrow, which is unreasonable from an architectural design perspective. Moreover, it will be much more difficult in structural design, and the requirements for the foundation and the frame structure of the entire building will be higher. What will happen? Lou Ligon continued to ask. Jason said, the cost will be at least 1/3 higher. Jason's right. Zhang Chen stared at his renderings, thought for a while and said, we look good on paper now, but it may not be practical in reality. Think about it, such a wide and thin building, and the height is the 32nd floor will look like a piece of tile when it is erected, and it won't look good visually. Jason nodded and said, yes, that's it. They immediately adjusted the entire exterior design and transformed it into 3 side-by-side 32-story buildings. This was no less imposing than the original single-building buildings. The exterior walls of the buildings were made of glass, not use glass curtain walls, but transparent glass. It's the kind of glass you mentioned, so bright that it turns blue, Zhang Chen and Lou Ligon said. This building near Zhongshan North Road has a shopping mall with a podium on the first and second floors. There are 2 buildings inside, and the first and second floors are elevated. Half of the corridor and pavilion are still close to the canal, and the other half are hidden in the elevated buildings. Jason suggested that even part of the original old house could be preserved. Zhang Chen said that's right, half of the innermost part of the house can be kept and half of it demolished, so that the traces of the demolition can also be preserved. Soon, they even thought of a name. Of course, the front was still Jingxiu, and the back, Zhang Chen said, was that the canal in front was called Jiangnan Canal, so this building was called Jingxiu Jiangnan. When Zhang Chen said this, Jason turned his attention to the 2 willow trees outside the pavilion. These 2 willow trees will be preserved together with the pavilion. When the spring breeze comes, it will still be very charming. Jason turned around and saw Zhang Chen looking at him. Both of them laughed, knowing what the other was thinking. If this is the case, our people will be here soon, Jason and Lou Ligon said. Lou Ligon said, okay, let's go see if there are any hotels nearby where we can arrange for your people to live and work. Is there water and electricity here? Jason asked. Lou Ligon made sense. Then we'll live here and put our workshop here. No, it's too cold here, Lou Ligon said. Don't be afraid. It's already very cold from Hong Kong to here. If it gets colder, there's nothing to worry about. Jason said, and both Zhang Chen and Lou Ligon laughed. Zhang Chen and Jason said, then let's book this place, but we have to send people to renovate it. If you have any requirements, just tell us. It's not a job that can be completed in 3 or 5 days. It must be more comfortable. Thanks for the tip, Ba Liang. Thank you for your monthly ticket, Wooden Man. Thanks for all the reading and votes. Good evening, everybody. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 752. Lou Ligon has determined that he will build a group of splendid Jiangnan buildings at the old site of the Hangzhou Spring Factory next to Zhongshan North Road, and even Hong Kong's top designer team has arrived in Hangzhou and stationed at the project location to start work. This news was announced in Lou Ligon made everyone in his company feel happy, and everyone felt bright in their faces. You must know that this is the tallest building in Hangzhou, taller than the Hangzhou Tower, and there are 3 buildings in one. Lou Ligon told them that your next task is to sell, use your brains to think of ways to sell these commercial and residential buildings to me. Lou Ligon called Ying Ying to the office and asked her to take another look at the market to see how attractive these buildings of hers are to companies in Hangzhou, and to measure the market potential of commercial and residential buildings in Hangzhou. How big? He asked Ying Ying to design a survey form. Ying Ying ran to the spring factory and found Jason. She stayed there all afternoon. In the evening, she handed in the form. This time the form was different from the last time, so Lu the Pole was surprised again. He saw the form she designed, which was divided into two parts. The first part introduced in detail the designer team of their building, successful cases around the world and this design concept. It also listed their group of commercial and residential buildings. The block advantages of the building were analyzed and a schematic diagram was drawn. The second part is the content of this survey. They are all single-choice questions. The first option is whether you want to buy it or not. The second option is whether you will buy it or not. The third option is whether you think it is acceptable. Price. Ying Ying and Lu Ligan explained that she said whether she wanted to buy depends on whether they have the demand, and whether she would buy depends on whether they have the ability. Our investigation can only target companies in Hangzhou at present, but our actual sales when the project is completed, it will radiate to all companies in the province and even the country. As long as the proportion of people who want to buy is high, it means that our project is done right and there will be demand in the market. In this way, even if the proportion of people who know how to buy is not high, it doesn't matter. It just means that these companies in Hangzhou do not have this ability yet, but it does not mean that there are not capable companies in Wenzhou, Shaoxing, Ningbo and other places. When it comes to actual sales, their participation will greatly increase the proportion of people who can buy. When Ying Ying was talking, Lu Ligan kept nodding. He felt that her idea was right. As long as this group of properties was considered good by everyone and had high expectations for it, he would not have to worry about its sales. The problem is that commercial and residential buildings, office buildings and residential buildings are different. They are more open than residential buildings. The companies that have already settled in will bring many potential customers to them. What's more, for such a large base of companies in the province, even if the survey results come out, only 10% of the companies will choose to buy. Expanding to the whole province, this is a huge number. After all, this is the largest city in the provincial capital. High-end office buildings are irreplaceable. In the third item, the price you think is acceptable, Ying Ying divides it into four options, namely 1000-1900 yuan/square meter, 2000-2900 yuan/square meter, 3000-3900 yuan/square meter, 4000-4900 yuan/square meter. Ying Ying and Lu Ligan said, this can provide us with a reference when setting the final price. Lu Ligan smiled and said, there is nothing else to investigate. I must choose a house between 1000 and 1900 yuan. Who doesn't want this house to be as cheap as possible? Not necessarily, Ying Ying said, our investigation this time is aimed at companies. Companies are more rational than individuals. Lu Ligan didn't argue. He was thinking, kid, what do you know about rationality and irrationality? You don't understand human nature. Humanity is hope. The cheaper the better. Anyway, the specific cost has not been released yet, and the final selling price has not been determined. It doesn't matter if you just investigate. Like last time, Lu Ligan also printed out the renderings drawn by Zhang Chen and asked Ying Ying and others to distribute them together with the questionnaire, which was also considered advertising. Ying Ying and the others ran for 3 days, shuttling between the office rooms of every hotel in Hangzhou. The results of the survey made Lu Ligan very pleased. Although only 5.3% of them chose to buy, they still chose to think about it. The purchase rate is as high as 62.4%, which shows that my judgment is correct and the demand in this market is there. Lu Ligan also felt the rationality of Ying Ying's table design. Otherwise, the statistics calculated this time would only be 5.3%, and not the huge 62.4%. Such survey results will not only undermine one's own confidence, but also hardly reflect the real expectations and needs of the market. Lu Ligan even considered whether it was their splendid Xiangting. He also divided the purchase behavior into whether he would like it and whether he would do it and conduct another investigation. Next, The proportion of yes will increase, Ying Ying and Lu Ligan said. Why? Lu Ligan asked strangely. Because we focused on investigating companies scattered in ordinary hotels in the past few days. Starting from tomorrow, we will investigate companies in high-end hotels such as Hangcheng Tower, International Building, Friendship Hotel, and Xingqiao Hotel. Lu Ligan understood and nodded. Moreover, this option will also change. Ying Ying pointed to the price option and said to Lu Ligan. The figures presented here have surprised Lu Ligan. He found that the prices of 1,000-1,900 yuan/square meter and 2,000-2,900 yuan/square meter are almost the same, both are over 40%, and there is still some they chose 3,000-3,900 yuan/square meter, but one of the 1.26 investigators chose 4,000-4,900 yuan/square meter. Lu Ligan was puzzled by this. He didn't expect that this little girl's judgment was more accurate than his own at this point. Lu Ligan asked, "What is the reason for this?" Ying Ying smiled and said to him, "It's simple. Many people will think that cheap goods are not good. When he buys things, he will not buy the cheapest ones. When buying office buildings, of course he will not buy the cheapest ones. They will think, if it is too cheap, the quality of this building will definitely not be good, and they do not want to move the company to such a building. Of course, the investigation is one thing, and the actual purchase is another. The price will still be affected during the actual purchase, but at least it shows that between 2000 and 2009, this is acceptable to them, as long as if they can afford it, they will buy it." As Ying Ying spoke, she couldn't help but laugh again. She said, "But at least the company that will buy our building has already come out. We must make these people our key marketing targets." "Oh, which group of people?" Lu Ligan became interested. "It's 1.26%, choose the price of 4,000 to 4,900, and choose want and will in the first two items. These companies show that they are very rich. The quality requirements for offices are very high. No matter how high their requirements are, we are already the best in Hangzhou, and our price cannot reach 4,900, which will make them feel that it is worth their money." Lu Ligan suddenly understood and couldn't help laughing. He asked, "Ying Ying, how does your brain work? How did you come up with these questions?" Ying Ying looked at him and asked timidly, "Mr. Lu, are you saying that I am good or bad?" "Of course it is," Lu Ligan said. "When you were studying, didn't your teacher encourage students who can think, but instead encouraged students who were dull?" Ying Ying scratched her head and said embarrassedly, "When I was in school, I was always scolded by the teacher, saying that I didn't know what was going on in your mind." Lu Ligan laughed loudly. He said, "Yes, when we get to the company, there will be no more teachers. If you continue to think like this, you are not allowed to become serious. Do you understand?" "I understand, Mr. Lu." Ying Ying nodded. At noon the next day, Ying Ying walked into Lu Ligan's office. Lu Ligan asked strangely, "Why are you here? Aren't you supposed to be outside now?" Ying Ying and Lu Ligan said, "Mr. Lu, you were scolded. That person also said that you should call her, and I would run back and talk to you. He knows me? Then why didn't he just call me and scold me?" Lu Ligan was curious. "I think she was too angry. When people are angry, they don't want to take the initiative to call the person who made her angry." Lu Ligan laughed, "Don't you take the initiative to reconcile with your boyfriend when you are angry?" Ying Ying's face suddenly turned red. She said, "No, no, I don't have a boyfriend, but if that was the case, of course I wouldn't bother to call him." Lu Ligan smiled and said, "Okay, who is this angry person?" "There is a woman from Hangcheng Building, her surname is Chu, her name is Qu." While Ying Ying was still thinking about it, Lu Ligan laughed. It turned out that they had gone to Chu Tianlin's office. He immediately picked up the phone and told Ying Ying, "I know, I'll call her right away." After the call was connected, Lu Ligan called Sister Tianlin, and Chu Tianlin asked, "Where are you?" "I'm at the company." "Do you have time now?" "Yes, Sister Tianlin." "Then come to my place." "I don't have any customers here." "Okay, I'll be right over, Sister Tianlin." After hanging up the phone, Lu Ligan said to Ying Ying, "Did you see that? Did you hear that she was angry? She asked me to come over and maybe even invited me to dinner." Ying Ying was also confused. What was going on? Lu Ligan stood up and asked Ying Ying, "Are you in the company or going out?" "I still have to go back to Hangcheng building." "It's not over yet," Ying Ying said. "Let's go, then take my car." Lu Ligan walked into Chu Tianlin's office. Chu Tianlin and Xiaoan were sitting across from each other, eating noodles. When Lu Ligan came in, Chu Tianlin asked, "Have you eaten?" "No, I dare to eat it. As soon as I heard that Sister Tianlin was looking for me, I rushed over immediately." Chu Tianlin laughed, glibly, "Say, what do you want to eat?" "That's it." Lu Lipol pointed to the noodles Chu Tianlin was eating. Chu Tianlin said to Xiaoan opposite, "Go and buy some noodles for the Pole." Lu Ligan quickly shouted, "Make it more spicy, thank you." Xiaoan stood up and said, "Okay, I'll pour out all the boss's hot sauce and burn you to death." Xiaoan took the noodles and walked out while eating. Chu Tianlin looked up at Lu Ligan and asked, "Why didn't you tell me about such a big thing as building an office building?" Lu Ligan chuckled, "It's not that the design draft hasn't been released yet, and the Chinese characters haven't even been written yet. If we really want to start construction, we have to invite Sister Tianlin to attend the groundbreaking ceremony. Without a single stroke, your people are all over the world," Chu Tianlin asked. "It's not like they have nothing to do. Let them understand the market," Lu Ligan said. Huo, that's good. Where did Qian Fang learn it?" "Yes, very inspired." "What is this, designed by Zhang Chen?" Lu Ligan saw the renderings designed by Zhang Chen, and Lu Ligan nodded. "That's great. I'll make the reservation first, and then you'll give me a discount," Chu Tianlin said. "Real?" "Of course, who do you think would want to stay in this hotel?" Chu Tianlin said. "Thanks to Lao Chentang, VP, and Ba Liang for the rewards." "Thank you Cup Guy API, Bulletin's Line, VP, Ping and Yishan, Pai Wuzun, Wei Zi 99,999, Lu, and the monthly votes of less than 100,000. Thank you for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 753. Chu Tianlin asked Lu Ligan who designed your form, which was very interesting. Lu Ligan told her that she was the girl who came to your place. What's the result? Chu Tianlin asked. Lu Ligan told Chu Tianlin the current statistical results. Chu Tianlin asked again, how much do you plan to sell per square meter? The cost has not been released yet, but the cost of high-rise buildings will definitely be higher than that of multi-story buildings. But I think even if it is twice as high, our pricing can still be controlled within 2,000, Lu Ligan said. Don't be too low, between 2,000 and 3,000 is reasonable, Chu Tianlin said. Why? Lu Ligan didn't understand why Chu Tianlin, as a customer, would make this request. It's very simple. If you are the best office building in Hangzhou, we hope that there is a threshold. Not all companies can enter. Otherwise, when we return to Hangzhou, we couldn't find a suitable office space in Hangzhou. Then you can also just find a hotel. Why go to Hangcheng Tower? Where this company is based is also a symbol of your company's strength. Why do companies from all over the world like the World Trade Center, Empire State Building, and Rockefeller Center when they go to New York? When you take out your business card, you don't need to introduce yourself. When people see your company, you know where it is, right? If you build an office building with a very low threshold, any company can work in it. We don't want to go to such an office building. What's the use of being cheap? The house is cheap, but if my company goes in, the price will drop. It's not worth the loss. Lu Ligan understood that Ying Ying was right. Those who chose 4000 to 4009 probably had this idea. Also, why is this a commercial and residential building, not just an office building? Chu Tianlin asked. Lu Ligan told Chu Tianlin about his and Zhang Chen's considerations. He was mainly worried that he would be too forward-thinking and too high-minded, and that there would be no companies to settle in. Chu Tianlin nodded and said, "It's understandable that you have concerns, but customers have different needs. For example, we want to be in a pure office building. We don't want people living nearby, with old people and children coming in and out. There's no way to control commercial and residential buildings, right?" Lu Ligan nodded, saying that this was indeed a contradiction. You have 3 buildings, A, B, and C. Why can't you separate them? Moreover, if you go to such a high-end place, the metropolitan area hopes that it will be purely an office building, not a commercial and residential building. You can completely use buildings A and B as office buildings, and building C it's a commercial and residential building, and the prices are different, and it's even okay. Let's put this building C on sale later, and if the sales in the front are good, we can turn it into a pure office building. Yes, Sister Tianlin has a good idea, Lu Ligan said, quickly. If Sister Tianlin has any other good ideas, please tell me. I really don't have much experience in this area, although I am in Haikan, also built an office building, but the building was finished before it was completed. Chu Tianlin smiled and said, when I arrived in Shenzhen, I went to the office building. I am in the office building every day, so of course I have some experience. This company is outside, Pole. Let me tell you, no matter what, it is always as high as possible. Yes, he has to pretend to be fat even if he is swollen in the face. Even if the company does not have that much money, he must go to the best office building. You must master this mentality. Lu Ligan nodded repeatedly. Chu Tianlin and Lu Ligan said, also, you said earlier that more than 60% of those who want to buy, only a few percent will buy. In fact, those 60% will buy as long as they have the ability. Yes, it's just that I don't have the ability and can't do anything about it now. You can definitely get a mortgage, so that you can afford the things you want to buy. For those of us who live in high-end hotels, the monthly rent and mortgage payments are enough, even though we still have to pay every month. But that house is ours in the end. How can we be willing to live in this hotel? If you live in a hotel, you will leave in the end, and there will be nothing. Look at Hangzhou, why are all the office buildings in hotels? There is no place to go. If there is a place to go, they are all gone. Lu Ligan said, I also want to get a mortgage, but I have contacted several banks. Although various housing loan policies came out in 1991, China Construction Bank was the first to provide housing loans in 1987, but then banks in Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Hangzhou are still blank in this area of business. They don't even know what to do, and they don't have the talent in this area. Chu Tianlin nodded and said, I asked you to come here today just to talk to you about this matter. I will introduce you to a financial company in Shenzhen. Really, does Sister Tianlin know any companies in this field? Lu Ligan asked. Chu Tianlin smiled and said, we are in the printing business. We look inconspicuous, but we know a lot of people. Think about it, from government departments to lower-level enterprises, who doesn't want to print things or deal with us? Let me introduce you to a company in Shenzhen. The Trust Company, which is a joint venture between Shenzhen Development Bank and Nanyang Bank, has introduced funds from overseas to do this business in China. That's great, Thank you Sister Tianlin, Lu Ligan said quickly. Xiaoan came in with a piece of noodles and opened it. Sure enough, there was a layer of red hot sauce on it. When Chu Tianlin saw it, he laughed and cursed, "You are going to die." Xiaoan giggled. Lu Ligan said, okay, thank you, beauty. It was very enjoyable listening to Sister Tianlin talk before, and it will be even more enjoyable if we do this again. Mr. Chiao and Mr. Yang of Shenzhen Angzhen Trust Co., Limited introduced by Chu Tianlin arrived in Hangzhou the next day. Before the introduction of the trust law in 2001, the business of trust companies was very broad and the degree of freedom was great, especially before 1997. Domestic money is very tight, and regulatory agencies are very tolerant of these overseas funds. Before 1997, to what extent was the domestic capital shortage? This can be seen from the bank's loan interest rate. At that time, the annual interest rate for one-year loans was above 10%. It was not until October 1997 that it dropped to 8.6%, and then continued to decline year by year. Although it went back and forth and there were several tightenings of money, the interest rate never returned to above 7.5. Mr. Chiao is the general manager of Angzhen Trust Co., Limited appointed by Shenzhen Development Bank. Mr. Yang is an overseas Chinese in Malaysia. He is the representative of Nanyang Bank stationed in Angzhen Trust. After the two people arrived in Hangzhou, they inspected Lu Ligan's company, the Jingxiu home project he had developed, the sales situation of the project, and the construction engineering license and construction land planning permit that had been obtained. Certificate, the splendid Xiangting project is ready to start. Of course, the focus of their inspection was the splendid Jiangnan project, including in-depth exchanges with Jason and others. They all had a considerable understanding of Jason and his company, especially Mr. Yang, who had worked with Jason in the past. We have had many contacts with their company. What interests the two of them the most is Yingying's ongoing investigation and the content of their investigation. With the survey of companies in high-end hotels, the proportion of thinking and willing has increased significantly, and the proportion of thinking has increased to 73.5%, which surprised them. The proportion of will has also increased to 9.3. What attracts them most is the huge gap between the two. You must know that companies that know may not necessarily need them if they have money, but companies that think will 100% need them. This is their potential customers and fertile ground. Mr. Yang redesigned the form and added a third item after the first and second items, that is, if a financial company provides a housing loan, will you accept this loan, followed by yes or won't. Mr. Yang selected 3 hotels and asked Yingying and others to do another survey. As a result, all the companies chose yes. Even those companies with strong financial resources also chose yes. Chu Tianlin told them that loans are very troublesome. With a ready-made loan in front of you, who would not want it? The money saved can be used for other purposes. Mr. Yang randomly checked several surveys conducted by Yingying and others and confirmed that their survey was true and reliable. The two of them were full of confidence not only in this matter but also in the entire Hangzhou office market. They immediately signed a cooperation agreement with Lu Ligan's Zhejiang Jingxiu Dadi Real Estate Co., Limited for Shenzhen Angzhen Trust Co., Limited to provide housing mortgage loans to customers of the Jingxiu Jiangnan project. Mr. Yang also encouraged Lu Ligan to accept an 80 million yuan development loan provided by Nanyang Bank through Angzhen Trust. Lu Ligan said with a smile, "I don't want a loan. For this project, Jason and his colleagues will come out with their drawings. It only takes 1 month to get all the procedures and start selling. What loan do I need? If I need money, I can now start selling not only the splendid Jiangnan but also the splendid Xiangting project and start collecting construction funds. I just don't need to do this. I collect this money at no capital cost. I won't collect this money without capital cost, and you still need to pay interest. All financial companies have one virtue, that is, They will always only add icing on the cake, rather than provide help when the time is right. The less Lu Ligan needed money, the more they stared at Lu Ligan. Mr. Yang and Lu Ligan said, "This is not for any project for you, but for your company's credit. If you take this money, you can make acquisitions. Land, plan your second or third project." At that time, the annual interest rate of the bank's 3-year loan was 13.86%. Mr. Yang and Mr. Chiao promised Lu Ligan an annual interest rate reduced by 15% for this 3-year development loan. Lu Ligan still insisted not to accept it. He insisted that he was not short of money. Mr. Chiao and Mr. Yang instigated Jason and Chu Tianlin to persuade Lu Ligan. Jason said that no company dares to say that it will not need a bank in this life. Just because you don't need it now, Pol, doesn't mean you won't need it in the future. Wait until you do. When the time comes, it will be too late to improvise. Chu Tianlin also said, "Yes, just think that you are losing a little profit every year and establish a good channel with financial institutions. If you are optimistic about the real estate market in Hangzhou, what are you afraid of? If you have acquired land now, its annual growth rate can still be help you offset part of the interest loss." These words of Jason and Chu Tianlin moved Lu Ligan. He also remembered the time when he was in Haikan. At that time, he couldn't hold him even if he wanted to. If at that time, there was a trust company to help him, maybe you can still persevere on your own. But at that time, apart from being familiar with Sun Ho's financial institution, he was familiar with other financial institutions, not to mention other financial institutions. He didn't even know where their doors opened. Well, Lu Ligan finally accepted the loan. "Thanks for the tip, Ba Liang. Thank you for your monthly votes from Lu, infinite love, book friends 16121612201986, and book friends 2020050119025128. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 754. Jason and the others worked in Hangzhou for more than a month, designed all the drawings of splendid Jiangnan and returned to Hong Kong. Lu Ligan took the drawings and walked from department to department. They were all old acquaintances, so naturally they could talk to him about anything. By the time he completed all the procedures as quickly as possible, it was January 1994. This year's Spring Festival is on February 10th, and the New Year will be celebrated in more than half a month. After the New Year, Yiming Food Factory will be relocated, the last few houses of Splendid Home will be constructed, and Splendid Jiangnan will also enter construction preparations. This time it is a high-rise building. Lu Ligan did not dare to be careless. He still put this project was contracted to Zhangmushan's Second City Construction Company. Hangzhou Jingxiu Dadi Construction Engineering Co., Limited also participated in the construction of the entire project, but they only contracted some of the projects from the city's second construction company. Lu Ligan gave Lao Wan the opportunity to learn from Zhangmushan and others. After taking over such a big project, Zhangmushan felt his waist stiffen all of a sudden, and he kept asking Lu Ligan to have dinner, saying that he wanted to thank him. Lu Ligan and Zhangmushan said, "It's okay to eat, but you want me to treat you. I need your help with something." The wine shop was set up in Zhongshenji. Wenwen and Qian were not there that day. Zhangmushan was a little disappointed. Lu Ligan called Lao Wan over. Lu Ligan and Zhangmushan said, "You must help me take care of this person and this company. Give me a helping hand, Lao Zhang. I won't say much else. In a few years, it will be time for you to retire. After retirement, I welcome you to come to our Jingxiu to use your remaining talents." Zhangmushan knew what he was doing, so he quickly raised his glass and touched it with Lu Li and Lao Wan, all without saying a word. In time for the Spring Festival, 3 huge billboards were erected on the road in North Zhongshan. This time it really became news. Su Wenhui and his senior brothers and sisters showed off again. Lu Ligan here, not only red envelopes are served, but they are also specially invited to have a meal in the Jinyuan of Hangcheng building. We are all brothers in the world, not to mention that I, Lu Ligan, was also a joint reporter for 6 media outlets back then. Come on, we are all brothers and sisters, and we will continue to be a close family in the coming year. Is it true that there are 6 media outlets working together as reporters? Everyone present heard Su Wenhui say it, but they all expressed disbelief. Lu Ligan smiled and said, "It really does exist." He took out 6 press cards from his bag and showed them. With such a pile of press cards, everyone here really did being dumbfounded. Someone joked, "Mr. Lu, did you buy this from a street stall? Does it mean it's fake?" Who said? If it's fake, it's 100% guaranteed to stand up to verification. This was all earned with my tears and sweat. I, old Lu, have really fought for the revolution. Mr. Lu, do you write in-depth reports? Someone asked, crying and sweating. Aren't you a reporter who writes in-depth reports? Lu Ligan shook his head. So you're the chief? No, you can't live without me. Lu Ligan smiled. Director? Chief editor? Someone asked. No, the advertising department. Which one of you can do without the advertising department? Lu Ligan said with a smile. I am a joint advertising salesperson for 6 media companies. Do you think I have to shed tears and sweat? Everyone laughed, and then lamented that advertising is a hard job, and it is true that it requires tears and sweat, but those who can reach this level in advertising are also great people. Mr. Lu, you are so awesome, someone shouted. Lu Ligan said with a smile, Old Lu, I don't dare to brag about my awesomeness, but there is one thing I dare to say. No matter which media I go to, I will definitely be the person the director of the advertising department wants to see the most. Everyone nodded and felt that it was not surprising. Advertising is such a difficult job, but it is not surprising that Mr. Lu can achieve what he is today. Before the Spring Festival, what made Lu Ligan happy was that Ayang and his colleagues had sold out more than 10,500 packages before January 10. After this batch of Westlake 10 treasures was put on the market, it was a great success, regardless of whether it is in Hangzhou or Shanghai has become a hot topic. Many calls were made to Yiming Food Factory, asking for replenishment, but there was not a single package left in Yiming Food Factory. Fan Kishun came to ask Lu Ligan if he could continue to do this, as there was still some time before the Spring Festival. Lu Ligan said that he couldn't do it anymore. If he did it again, he would be ruined. If he tried any new tricks next time, it wouldn't work. Lao Fan said, okay, listen to you, then we won't do it and wait for new tricks. They didn't work here, and Zhang Chen was the one who suffered. In several stores in Shanghai, the food department couldn't get the goods, but he actually found the clothing department. Everyone knew that the boss of this half-acre field had an unusual relationship with Yiming Food Factory. The manager of the clothing department called Zhang Chen, and Zhang Chen had to agree, not to mention that he still had a lot of places to deliver. He asked Yang to order 1,000 bags, and Zhang Chen asked for the goods. Of course, Yang didn't say anything and continued to rush. By February 5, the 1,000 bags were finally completed and Zhang Chen handed over the job. At the end of the year, everything went smoothly and the year seemed to be ending successfully. Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan, when are you going to go back? Lu Ligan smiled and said, I want to go see Meng Ping first. I'll go with you, Zhang Chen said. What next? Then I will return to Hangzhou and go to the factory to celebrate the new year with Lao Wan. You can go in Wu Ziawai's car, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao have already started learning to drive from Wu Ziawai's senior brother, but they have to wait until next year to get their driver's licenses. Wu Ziawai and the others also bought an Ivco for delivery. In February, all markets began to stop one after another and stop delivering goods. By 4 or 5 days before New Year's Eve, they would completely stop. Next year, we will have to wait until the 15th day of the first lunar month to resume shipments. They had a comfortable vacation for more than half a month. The two decided to go back to Tonglu to celebrate the New Year. After the New Year, they would drive to Wei Wenfang's house. Zhang Chen knew that this was because Lu Ligan went back last year and made too much noise, turning the whole Yongcheng into a mess. When he goes back this year, he probably hasn't figured out how to clean up the mess, so he simply doesn't gone back. Zhang Chen told him that no matter what, we would go back for a reunion dinner on New Year's Eve, and we would go back to Hangzhou on the first day of the New Year. It would only be one night, so we could go back together. During the Spring Festival, the Banmu Tian Women's Lifestyle flagship store on Yan'an Road was open normally, so Zhang Chen and the others, mainly Xiao Zhao, couldn't live without them. They had no choice but to go back to Yongcheng on New Year's Eve, and then back to Hangzhou on the first day of the New Year. Xiao Zhao's family didn't even have time to go back. Lu Ligan sat on the sofa and was silent for a long time. He said it was better to forget it and let Lao Wan see you off when the time comes. I will wait until Splendid Jiangnan is completed before going back. This was a secret gambling, but Zhang Chen didn't know who he was gambling with, and neither did Lu Ligan himself. Zhang Chen knew that talking more would be useless, so he stopped talking. There are some things that can only be healed by time, and there is nothing one can do. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan went to Nanjing to visit Meng Ping together. There were many things at home and Xiao Zhao couldn't leave. He Hongmei went with them to help drive. When they arrived in Nanjing, they first went to Qianfang's company and saw that Li Yang and Su Jiaking were already a close couple. Qianfang and the others had just visited Meng Ping a few days ago. The prison is not a hotel, so it would not be a good idea to go there often. They stopped when they arrived at the entrance of Lohukiao prison, and Li Yang accompanied the two of them inside. Lu Ligan and Meng Ping talked about the splendid Jiangnan project. Meng Ping was even happier than Lu Ligan. When he heard that he would start construction after the Spring Festival, he couldn't help shouting, "Great, Pole!" Meng Ping screamed so loudly that the director and the warden who walked next door thought something had happened and ran in hurriedly, asking, "Is something wrong?" Li Yang quickly stood up, walked over and said, "What's the matter?" He put his arms around their shoulders and went out. The three people here couldn't help laughing in a low voice. "It's coming soon, it's only a few months away," Meng Ping said. "When I go out, I will go on a killing spree, Pole. Then we in Nanjing and you in Hangzhou will compete." "Let's compete, who is afraid of whom?" Lu Ligan said. After coming out of Lohukiao prison, they went to Qianfang's Purple Mountain Villa. When they returned to the city, they had dinner at Green Willow House on Zhonyang Road. When the dinner was about to end, Lu Ligan suddenly asked, "Qianfang, are you in Nanjing? Have you met Lu Yun?" Qianfang was startled, then shook his head. What else Qianfang wanted to say, Lu Ligan laughed, "It's impossible even if you think about it, Nanjing is so big." Qianfang wanted to say that Nanjing is big, but there are not many golf courses under construction. "I will look for her." Qianfang thought for a moment, but still didn't say anything. On the way back, Lu Ligan was silent. When passing through Liang County, Lu Ligan stopped the car on the side of the road and got out of the car without saying a word. Zhang Chen shouted, "What are you doing?" Lu Ligan was stunned for a while, then he pointed randomly and said, "I'll go look for it and see if there's a toilet nearby." "Who is Lu Yun?" He Hongmei asked. Zhang Chen shook his head and told He Hongmei that he had a friend in Haikan and couldn't explain a few words clearly. After returning from Nanjing, it was time for He Hongmei to return to Chongqing. Lu Ligan and Ji Yiling drove to Jianqiao Airport to see her off. Lu Ligan came back from the airport and walked into Zhang Chen's office. The day was approaching day by day. Zhang Chen still asked him the same old question, "Are you really not going back?" No reply. Lu Ligan shook his head. Then what do your parents say? Lu Ligan smiled, speak for me and use your intelligence. Yu Zhongchen cursed. That's right, just go tell my mother, Lu Ligan said with a smile. The two were silent. After a while, Lu Ligan asked, Zhongchen, do you still have the contact information of Qiang's cousin? I want to find Qiang while I have nothing to do now. Zhongchen shook his head and said that it seemed to be there. It had been so long and he couldn't remember where it was written. Zhongchen picked up the phone, called Xiao Zhao, and asked her if she still had Qiang's cousin's phone number. When we were in Guangzhou, he seemed to have kept the tickets when he came to give us them. Yes, I recorded it in the old account book at home. Why do you want this? Xiao Zhao asked. I want the pole. Okay, then go back and find it and give it to him. Did you hear that? Zhongchen asked Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan nodded and said he heard it. He said to himself, I want to go to Guangzhou to find Qiang first, and then go to see Li Yong. This spring festival will be complete. Thank you again for your reward. Thank you Chu Changjun and Mo Shwilan for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 755. Zhang Chen and his Banmuishan Women's Lifestyle flagship store on Yan'an Road are open during the Spring Festival. This is the result of soliciting opinions from customers. There is no New Year's Eve during the Spring Festival this year. They are only closed for half a day on the afternoon of the 29th. The local sales staff, you can go home for New Year's Eve dinner. Anyway, this city, after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, is like a dead city. There are very few people on the streets and there are no cars. Occasionally, there is a tram passing by, which is also lazy and looks like it has insufficient power. On the morning of the 29th of the new year, there were still many people coming to their store to buy clothes, especially the girls from the local and nearby suburban counties who had been working overtime years ago, including the staff of the agency, and they only came this afternoon. It was a holiday, but in the morning, all the units basically turned a blind eye. They quickly took advantage of this time to come over and buy themselves a new dress. Then take the shuttle bus to the suburbs at noon, or ride a bicycle home to wait for the New Year's Eve dinner at home. Xiaoli still stayed in Shanghai. The shopping malls in Shanghai were the same as those in Hangzhou. Before the 6th day of the Lunar New Year, they were also open half a day. There were not enough salespersons, so Xiaoli had to go to each store to replace them. Xiao Wan didn't go home this year and stayed in the store, so Xiao Zhao didn't have to go to the store this morning. They got up in the morning and went home directly from Sanbao. Wu Ziyai and Wei Venfang could have gone home yesterday. They waited until today to send Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao back to Yongcheng. The new driver Xiao Sheng is not familiar with Shanghai. Lao Wan accompanied him to deliver goods in Shanghai last night. I haven't returned to Hangzhou yet. Tomorrow, Lao Wan will drive to Yongcheng to pick up Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao. When he got up in the morning, Xiao Zhao was still at home changing Zhang Xiangbei's new clothes and feeding him breakfast. Zhang Chen went to the factory. Wu Ziyai had already arrived in his car. Zhang Chen asked Wu Ziyai to help him put 10 boxes of Maotai and 2 boxes of Maotai in the office. King Chunbao was loaded into the car, with a box of 6 bottles of Maotai, a total of 60 bottles here. Wu Ziyai smiled and said, Mr. Zhang, you are only going to go back for one night. There are so many relatives to leave. Zhang Chen also laughed. He said no, we don't need to bring anything home. We have prepared everything at home. If we do, we will get scolded. We just need to bring Zhang Xiangbei back. This is for the father of the Pole. He dad is a master of wine. As long as there is wine, even if the sky falls, he has to take a few sips first. His mother's biggest hobby is eating King Chunbao. She thinks that eating King Chunbao can solve all her physical abnormalities. The back seat of Wu Ziy's Ivco has been removed, and there are piles of New Year's goods that Wu Ziyi and the others are going to take home. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Buy so many." Wu Ziyi said, "There is no way, there are many people coming and going at home, so it is not cheap to buy it at the wholesale market in Hangzhou." After loading their things, Zhang Chen got into the car. The car drove to the door of the landlord's courtyard. Xiao Zhao was holding Zhang Xiangbei and was waiting for them at the door. Zhang Chen and the three of them went back to Yongcheng for one night, without even changing clothes. Bring. When Wu Ziyi saw Zhang Xiangbei, he jumped out of the car and made sure to give him a red envelope. Zhang Xiangbei reached out to take it, but Xiao Zhao insisted not to take it. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Why do you still need a red envelope?" Wu Ziyi became anxious and shouted, "This is etiquette. He is a child and I am his uncle." When Wu Ziyi said this, Zhang Chen asked Zhang Xiangbei to take it. As soon as Zhang Xiangbei took it, he stuffed it into his mouth. Xiao Zhao quickly took the red envelope from his hand. With a snap, Zhang Xiangbei slapped Xiao Zhao on the face. Zhang Chen and Wu Ziyi laughed, Xiao Zhao glared at him angrily, Zhang Xiangbei chuckled, and Xiao Zhao was also amused by him. They arrived at Sijiking and picked up Wei Venfang. Wu Ziyi drove the car. Instead of turning from Hanghai Road to Kaiyudao Road to leave the city, he drove to Jiayu Supermarket on Qingchun Road. Wei Venfang asked what he was doing here. Wu Ziyi looked at it. She told Zhang Chen and the others, "Wait for me, I have to buy something." Wu Ziyi walked into Jiayu Supermarket. After a while, Wu Ziyi and a supermarket staff came out pushing a flatbed truck. On the truck were 5 boxes of Maotai and 1 box of youth treasures. There are very high steps at the entrance of Jiayu Supermarket, and the flatbed truck cannot get down. Wu Ziyi and the staff moved boxes one by one to the truck at the bottom of the steps. Zhang Chen hurried down to help. Wei Venfang shouted, "We haven't already bought the things we went back to, so why do we still need to buy them?" Wu Ziyi looked at her, smiled, and said nothing. After putting the things in the car, Wu Ziyi sat back in the driver's seat. Wei Venfang was still complaining. She said that her relatives wanted to send such expensive wine. It cost more than 100 yuan a bottle and they bought so much. "Let's go now." "How many thousand?" Wu Ziyi said nothing and drove the car alone. When they arrived in Yongcheng, they first went to Lu Ligan's home and unloaded their things. Wu Ziyi then sent Zhang Chen and the others home. Zhang Chen also told Lu Ligan's parents that Lu Ligan would not be going home this year. When they were approaching the door of Lu Ligan's house, Zhang Chen, Xiao Zhao and the others said that if Ganza's parents ask later where the Pole has gone, don't tell them. I will tell them alone to avoid any misunderstanding. Xiao Zhao and Wei Venfang both agreed. Ganza's family lives on the second floor of a husband's house in Xindian village. He walks along a small road. On both sides are rows of 2-story foreign-tiled houses. These houses were used to house residents after the hydropower station was completed. Afterwards, construction workers working locally were recruited into the newly built cement pipe making factory and rod making factory. Lu Ligan's parents were workers in a cement pipe factory. When they arrived downstairs at Lu Ligan's house, Zhang Chen saw Lu Ligan's mother sitting on the open space downstairs, shedding the feathers of a chicken in a wooden basin. Before the car stopped, Zhang Chen opened the window and waved to her from the car. She smiled when she saw Zhang Chen, stood up, waved her hand, turned around and shouted upstairs. After a while, Lu Ligan's father ran down from the second floor. They all thought that the Pole was back. Zhang Chen, Xiao Zhao and Wei Venfang both got out of the car. They didn't see Lu Lipole. They walked to the door of the car strangely and looked into the car. Zhang Chen hurried over and said to them, "Uncle, Auntie, something happened to the Pole temporarily and I won't be able to come back." "Where did he go when he didn't go home during the Chinese New Year?" Lu Ligan's mother asked. He went to Hong Kong. Jiang Chen said, you also know that Hong Kong people are only a few years old, so they must go there for meetings. Jiang Chen was talking nonsense. They didn't know anything about Hong Kong anyway, let alone Hong Kong people's failure to celebrate the New Year. Lu Ligan's parents looked at each other and sighed in disappointment. Jiang Chen said, it's just a poll, let us bring you something back. Come on, Xiao Wu, quickly move the things out of the car. Wu Zaiyi agreed, and Wu Zaiyi climbed into the car and moved boxes one by one from the car to the door. Jiang Chen stood under the car, picked up boxes one by one, and piled them on the ground at the door first. Nearby, a few young men had come over to watch the fun. When they heard that they were moving things, they quickly started to help. Jiang Chen told them, thank you all, and helped move them upstairs. When the boys saw so many, they shouted, Gangzi has brought back so many Maotai, Dad, Gangzi, you are in for a treat. Lu Ligan's father was so happy that he couldn't open his mouth from ear to ear when he saw so much wine. After moving 10 boxes of Maotai and 2 boxes of youth treasures, Jiang Chen was about to walk away when Wu Zaiyi shouted, there are also 5 boxes of Maotai and 1 box of youth treasures bought from Jiayu supermarket, and he also moved them from the inside of the car to the door of the car. Jiang Chen then realized that this guy bought these for Lu Ligan's parents. Those young men shouted, Gangzi Dad, you can take a bath with Mutai. Wei Venfang stood there silently, with her hands folded in front of her chest and a gloomy face, watching them move boxes one by one. Jiang Chen and Xiao Zhao looked at each other, and Xiao Zhao shook his head slightly. After bidding farewell to the 2 old men, everyone got in the car and was silent all the way. When they were almost driving to the door of Jiang Chen's house, Wu Zaiyi cursed. Mom, what are you doing making so much money? What are you doing building so many houses? You can't even go back to your home. It's useless. It was almost 12 o'clock, and when Cheng Qian and Ni Ping, the hosts of the CCTV Spring Festival Gala, were preparing to lead the audience in the countdown, someone downstairs shouted, fireworks are set off. Jiang Chen and Xiao Zhao hurriedly walked to the corridor outside. Before the 12 o'clock bell rang from the TV, someone had already lit the fireworks, and red flames shot into the night sky, crackling in the darkness. The earth shines into bright flowers. The sound of crackling was quickly covered up by the deafening sound of firecrackers from far and near, and the whole town exploded. Xiao Zhao took out his mobile phone, called Qian Fang, and shouted to say Happy New Year to the people over there. Jiang Chen walked to the end of the corridor, dialed Lu Lipol's phone number, covered his left ear with his left hand, and put the phone number close to his right ear with his right hand. There was still a rapid beep coming from the phone. Mobile phones in Zhejiang and Guangdong have been connected to the internet. By the end of this year, all 1.5 million mobile phones across the country will be online. But Jiang Chen had been calling Lu Ligan for several days, but he couldn't get through. Lu Ligan stood in front of the window, holding Alan's shoulders, looking outside. They had been together for several days, but Lu Ligan never figured out whether the other person was Alien or Alan, or both. None. They looked outside the window and saw fireworks blooming in the sky above the West Lake, dazzling and dazzling. The sound insulation effect of the room was very good. They could neither hear the sound of the fireworks exploding nor the joyful fireworks beside the West Lake. The people, whether they are laughing or shouting, are silent, as if they are far away from them, in another world. But they were actually very close in front of them. Scarlet flames shot up into the sky. Blossoms of snow fell silently from the huge tree crown above their heads and fell on the person's head. The person shouted loudly. Smiling, his smile was also silent. They just looked outside. The room was dark, all the lights were turned off, the shower faucet in the bathroom was not turned off properly, and water was dripping. The 2 people stood there, looking outside, and they seemed to be able to hear each other's heartbeats. The fireworks bloomed one by one, making their faces flicker. When they lit up, their faces were brilliant. When they dimmed, no one would know. The two people naturally turned around and hugged each other, and Alien finally kissed Lou Ligon. Before that, she told him, "I can give you anything, but I just can't kiss you. My kisses should be reserved for the person I really like." Lou Ligon laughed and said, "Damn it, you are really an idealist." "How?" Alien looked at him steadily and said word by word, "You can look down on me, but I just won't kiss you." The two were kissing, and Lou Ligon felt that her mouth was sweet, the kind of warm sweetness that would make people feel a little sad. He felt like he was kissing a strawberry. It turned out that the kiss was really hers. The best thing to own. If the strawberries are burning, she will be Bai Shui's sister. Lou Ligon suddenly thought of this poem by Wang Jianghe. Alien said softly, "Let me stay, okay? I don't want to go back. Tonight, I don't want to be alone. I don't want money." Lou Ligon said yes. They had already negotiated before. Lou Ligon said, "I will buy you for 1 year. After this year, we will be strangers." Alien looked at him and smiled mischievously, "We are strangers to begin with." However, she immediately agreed to Lou Ligon's suggestion. At this moment, Lou Ligon was shaken. He said to Alien, "Okay, stay, I don't want to be alone." The fireworks outside the window were brilliant one after another, and the two people smiled softly in the colorful world outside. Thanks to Ba Liang, Doll Tin Soldier, reading books every day, ranking third from top to bottom, and on the shore 131 for the reward. Thank you to book friends 1610250923284009, Chen Feng, Su Yuenian, Cup Guy API, and Black Tea 2015 for your monthly votes. Thank you for all the votes and reading. Happy Sunday everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 756. Lu Li went to Guangzhou on the 26th of the year, and returned to Hangzhou on the night of the 27th. After he arrived in Guangzhou, he detained Chen Qiang's cousin and never called him back. Lu Ligon vaguely remembered his cousin's name, Ahao. He was a security inspector. Lu Ligon simply went to the Guangzhou railway station and took the after asking a lot of questions about his press pass, he finally matched his name and person, but he was told that Ahao was no longer here and had resigned to work in Macau. Lu Ligon asked about Ahao's home and went there, only to find that a large area there had been demolished. Even after the local police station was demolished, no one knew where it was moved, let alone Ahao's home. Lu Ligon had no choice but to go home and return to Hangzhou. Wenwen and Qian have gone home, and the company has gone on holiday. Lu Ligon doesn't want to live alone upstairs in the office. He knows that Zhang Chen and the others are still in Hangzhou, but now, they are the ones he is most afraid of seeing. He was afraid that Zhang Chen would persuade him to return to Yongcheng again, which would be extremely annoying. Lu Ligon was at the airport and happened to see a minibus from Wanghu Hotel picking up guests. He lied that he was also a hotel guest, got on the minibus, and when he arrived at Wanghu Hotel, he simply opened a minibus here. After staying in the Lakeview Suite, there is food and drink here. It is also very nice to spend the new year here alone. Lu Ligon entered the room, put down his luggage, and took a shower. He remembered the last time he left here in a hurry. It was familiar again and again. Teacher Fan Jiangguo had already let him in. He was also familiar with the situation here. It's an understanding. The most important thing is that he has nothing to do now and is so free that Lu Ligon can't hold himself back. The hotel was not very popular during the Spring Festival. He went downstairs and saw no one he was looking for in the lobby. Unwilling to give up, He walked out of the door. On the left side of the Wanghu Hotel's door, there was a row of low bungalows and a family. The Keikyo store has closed, and a travel supplies store is still open. The side closest to the gate is the unfinished Esprit store. It was here that he saw Alien, wearing a slim-fitting thin woolen coat with the collar turned up, looking a little aloof. Lu Ligan walked over, and Alien looked at him steadily. A slightly sarcastic sneer slipped across her pretty face, and he handed him a look of rejection and welcome. Lu Ligan caught it and smiled. Both sides knew that the other person was the one they were looking for. Otherwise, the gaze would soon pass over Lu Ligan's body and become as cold as ice. Lu Ligan walked over, rubbed Alien's body, and said softly, "Let's go." Without stopping, Alien turned around, stretched out her hand naturally, and took his arm. The two of them were like it's a couple. They walked forward, passing the tourist supplies store, until they reached the West Lake. They stood for a while and looked at the water and the sky. In front of them was silence and darkness. The wind from the lake blew on their faces, which was a bit cold and smelly. The two people turned around and walked back in unison. On the way back and forth, the two people talked quietly. People who didn't know it must have thought that they were just lovers' chatter. Lu Ligan and Alien said, "I will buy all your things this year. The bell of the year of the dog is ringing, and we are two strangers." Alien said yes and casually reported a number. This time it was Lu Li. The Rod said yes. During this, Alien also smiled and said that we were strangers to begin with. After saying this, everything settled, the two of them suddenly stopped holding on to each other and relaxed. This feeling was very comfortable and made people feel that they really were like a pair of passionate lovers. After passing the travel supplies when they were in the store, Lu Ligan asked Alien if he wanted to buy something. Alien said yes, and the two of them went in hand. Alien ordered some dried fruits, olives, and chewing gum with her hands wearing dark green sheepskin gloves, and the salesperson took them out one by one. Lu Ligan paid the money and naturally took the bag handed over by the salesperson and held it in his hand. When he walked out of the store, Alien smiled softly, tilted his head and rubbed Lu Li affectionately. The head of the Rod. Lu Lizan was tickled by her hair and couldn't help but twitch his nose. He felt that the perfume on Alien's body smelled very good. Lu Lizan felt a familiar feeling of familiarity. After thinking about it, with a shiver in his heart, he remembered that this was the smell of Zheng Wei. He asked Alien, and she told him that it was a French brand and bought in Taiwan. This sentence alone conveys the extraordinary experience. In that era, few people could go abroad, and even fewer could go to Taiwan. She actually went to Taiwan. The two of them were really like a pair of lovers. When they walked into the hotel lobby and the doorman opened the door for them, Alien said thank you softly. The two of them walked straight through the entire lobby to the elevator without squinting. The light in the elevator was bright. Alien let go of Lu Ligan, and one of them leaned against the wall on one side. Lu Ligan kept staring at Alien. He realizing that she looked better than when she was outside, Alien blushed slightly and said with a smile, "Whatever you are looking at, you can return it if you are not satisfied." Lu Li laughed loudly, and I regretted retreating. The corners of Alien's mouth curled up again. She took off the gloves on both hands, and Lu Ligan saw a pair of white and slender hands. She held the gloves in her hands and squeezed them rhythmically. Lu Ligan felt that he was very willing to make those gloves. After opening the door and entering, Alien took off her coat and handed it to Lu Ligan naturally. Lu Ligan found that Alien, who was wearing a tight woolen sweater and straight skirt, had a better figure than before and looked plumper. In the next few days, they never left Wanghu Hotel or their room, that is, they went to the restaurant to eat, to the coffee shop to drink coffee, and then returned to the room without taking a step out of the hotel door. The outside world is busy preparing for the festival, what does it have to do with them? The two of them have been together for a long time. After the initial enthusiasm and fierceness passed, Everything returned to normal, as if they had taken root here, and their hearts began to become a little unrestrained, no longer so vigilant and cautious. At this time, the extra thing is nothing but words. Lou Ligon would not ask, "Are you called Alien, Alan, or some other name?" As for Alien, she didn't even know Lou Ligon's last name. Although she had heard more than one waiter say softly, "Thank you, Mr. Lou," when taking the bill, Alien felt that the words in their mouths, "Mr. Lou is not the person next to her. This person has never told her his last name. He is anonymous, and she will not ask. Not to mention asking, you are not a foreign guest, so why are you staying out during the Chinese New Year instead of going home?" The space and distance between the two people also makes the name redundant. The more function of the name is to distinguish and summon a person from other people. There are no other people here, only them, so even the name it can also be ignored. The two of them were very comfortable with this situation. They hugged each other even when they fell asleep, but when they opened their eyes, they still didn't know who the other person was. This sense of strangeness allows them to have no boundaries and be unrestrained when talking. It feels like holding a phone and calling a radio host at midnight. Because of the anonymity of their identity, they can open up. After one night, they became strangers who could talk about anything. The fireworks on the lake lasted for more than 20 minutes, then gradually fell silent, and the room fell into darkness. At this time, occasionally there will be a string of lonely fireworks exploding in the night sky, which looks a bit funny, like a limping person far behind the marathon group. Alien loosened her embrace, but did not let go of Lou Ligon's hand. She was still holding his hand, reluctant to let go. When she was about to die, she kissed him, which made Alien suddenly feel attached to him. This is why Alien did not dare to kiss a man. Alien held his hand and retreated to the bed. The two of them sat down on the carpet, leaning against the bed behind them. In front of them were floor-to-ceiling glass, open curtains, and the hazy night sky. The West Lake outside the window is blocked by the roof of the house where the Provincial Political Consultative Conference and the Foreign Languages Bookstore are located. The section of Baishan Street near Huancheng West Road cannot be seen. Beatty looks like it grows directly from the yard of the Provincial Party Committee's United Front Work Department opposite the Provincial Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. On both sides of Beatty, there are sparse street lamps. They seem to be frozen by the deepening night, and even the light is dim. It couldn't be spread out, and it looked pitiful and beautiful. This is a day for the whole country to celebrate and reunite families. TV hosts like to use such clichés. On this day of family reunion, Lou Ligon's home is in Yongcheng, hundreds of miles away, and Alien's home is in Hangzhou, a few miles away, but they have nothing to do with them. Only they, side by side, sit here, whisper softly, kiss occasionally, spread out and continue whispering softly. In this day of family reunion, only the other person, this intimate stranger, is the real existence, not the family. The city can sleep, but they are not sleepy. After kissing Lou Ligon, Alien really felt attached to Lou Ligon. She felt that the past days had painted her like a scroll painting, bit by bit. It was rolled up bit by bit, and now she had a desire to stretch out her slender hands and slowly open the painting bit by bit. Show it to him. Who makes you unable to control yourself and want to kiss a stranger? After the kiss, even a little bit of aloofness and indifference are gone. She just wants to fall down, become weak, and open herself up. I am a weak person. People, I am not that strong, nor that hard, the past is drowning me, please save me. Alien feels soft and dry like she has never felt before. What she still has is the desire to talk. Okay, then let's listen to Alien's story with Lou Ligon. Thanks for the tip, B.A. Liang. Thank you Cup Guy API for your monthly ticket. Thank you for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 757. Alien is a native of Hangzhou. When she graduated from high school at the age of 18, the Huagang Hotel by the West Lake was looking for waiters. At that time, such foreign-related hotels had very high requirements, and the working environment and treatment were also very good. Many young people, a place that everyone longs to go to. There were many people who signed up, and Alien stood out from the crowd. Not only did she become a waiter at Huagang Hotel, but she also became a leader among the waiters. She was selected to serve at the front desk, which is the front desk of a hotel. The person working at the front desk is definitely the best in this hotel. 18-year-old Alien has the feeling of leaping over a dragon's door and reaching the sky in one step. Every day when she goes to and from get off work and walks in the alley of their home, she is greeted with warm greetings and envious looks. 18-year-old Alien has a kind of pride that overwhelms everything. She does have such capital. She is young, beautiful, and has a job that everyone envies. If these cannot become the capital of pride, then what can? Huagang Hotel is a subsidiary of the Provincial Tourism Bureau. The main guests they receive are overseas tourist groups. The most popular tourists to Hangzhou at that time were Japanese groups and Taiwanese groups. The reason for the large number of Japanese groups was due to the friendship between China and Japan at that time. The atmosphere was at its peak. In 1984, a Japanese youth delegation of 3,000 people visited China at the invitation of the then national leaders. Later, the national leader, the Central Committee of the delegation, went to Shanghai Hongqiao Airport to greet the Japanese delegation. Hangzhou is one of the important cities visited this time. Japan's NHK reported the entire event, which caused a sensation in Japan. The beautiful scenery of the West Lake attracts many Japanese audiences. In addition, the Sino-Japanese Orchid Pavilion Calligraphy Exchange exhibition held every year in Shaoxing also attracts many Japanese calligraphy enthusiasts. It can be said that since 1984, Hangzhou has been full of Japanese tourists. The first choice place to travel to China. The reason for the large number of tour groups in Taiwan is because the Taiwan authorities had just opened the door for people to visit relatives in the mainland at that time. When Taiwanese people arrived in the mainland, their favorite places were two places. One was Zhikou, Fenghua, Zhejiang, to see Feng Gaofang, the former residence of Chiang Kai-shek. To go to Zhikou, you must pass through Hangzhou. In addition, Zhejiang is the province with the largest number of senior Kuomintang officials. They have their own concerns about Hangzhou. There is another place, Huangshan Mountain in Anhui Province. The Taiwanese painter Zhang Daqian and the photography master Lang Jingshan have painted and photographed many paintings and photos of Huangshan Mountain, which have a great influence in Taiwan. At that time, you took a bus from Huangshan in Anhui to Shaxian, boarded a boat at Chengdu, passed by Qiandao Lake, and then passed through the Xianan River, Fukun River, and Qiantang River to the West Lake in Hangzhou. This tourist route was also the earliest tourism developed by Taiwan Travel Agency. One of the routes is known as the Golden Tourist Route. This incident profoundly changed cross-strait relations, but also made Qiandao Lake famous. Anyway, during the years when Alien worked at the front desk of Huagang Hotel, the people she interacted with the most every day were the leaders and escorts of Taiwan tour groups. At that time, Alien liked to laugh, talking to people, laughing even without speaking, and watching people laugh. When she is not looking at people, she will also laugh when she is immersed in work alone. She doesn't even know why she likes to laugh so much. Almost all the travel agency leaders and escorts who have been to Huagang Hotel have a deep impression of Alien. She is even slightly famous among them. As long as they talk about the girl with a nice smile in Hangcheng, or the girl with a smile, other people will know her. People will know that she is talking about Alien from Huagang Hotel. Among them is a tour leader of Taiwan Star Travel Agency, who is in his 20s and 90s. He is very good to Alien. Every time he comes from Taiwan, he will bring gifts to Alien. When he comes from Huangshan or Shanghai, he will also bring gifts to Alien. He almost everywhere he came from, he would bring gifts to Alien. As long as she saw his gifts, she would know where he had been. When there are many people or when Alien is busy, he will not disturb her, but if she works the night shift, he will chat with her all night long. The hotel management at that time was very strict. You were not allowed to doze off on the table inside the front desk even if you were working the night shift. You were not allowed to read or do private work. It was really satisfying to have such a person chatting with me. I feel less bored and can survive those long nights. Working the night shift, the hotel staff cafeteria provided late-night snacks, but he always found the late-night snacks in the cafeteria too monotonous. He would order food in the room and bring it to Alien. Both of them are young people, and they have become familiar with each other over time. Alien knew that his name was Lin Xiaofeng, and he was the son of the boss of a large financial holding company in Taiwan. After graduating from National Taiwan University, his father wanted to arrange for him to join his company. But he doesn't want to rely on his father. He still wants to rely on himself. In addition, he particularly likes the mainland. He feels that everything in the mainland is better than Taiwan. So, he worked as a tour leader in a travel agency, which gave him the opportunity to visit the mainland frequently. Lin Xiaofeng would tell Alien a lot about Taiwan. The Taiwan in the stories he told was not as annoying as the Taiwan he said he hated. Instead, it made Alien feel yearned for and felt that everything was more advanced than the mainland. Better than mainland China. You know, Alien and the others are the generation that sang "The girls from Alishan are as beautiful as water" and "Taiwan compatriots, my flesh and blood brothers, we will keep you in our hearts day and night." Now there really is a Taiwanese, and she talked about every little bit of Taiwan. How could it not make her yearn for it? Alien clearly remembers that it was a summer night and the weather was very hot. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, after the central air conditioner in the lobby was turned off, the temperature suddenly rose. Another colleague at the front desk couldn't stand it anymore. At this time of day, there weren't many guests, so she wanted to sneak out into the garden to cool off. Colleagues told Alian that if the manager on duty came to check on her, he would tell her that she had gone to the bathroom. The manager on duty that night was the engineering manager. He was a man. It was impossible for him to check the women's restroom. Alien agreed. At that time, Lin Xiaofeng was also standing outside the counter. He told the colleague, "You can go without worries if your manager comes. I will say that the water tank in my room is broken and drag him to my room, and then Alien can go and call you." The colleague left relieved. Alien and Lin Xiaofeng were the only ones left in the entire lobby. Lin Xiaofeng stood outside the counter and fanned Alien with a paper fan. He stared at Alien. Alien was embarrassed by his look and wanted to ask him about you. Seeing something, Lin Xiaofeng suddenly shed tears and started crying, which shocked Alien. Alien quickly asked Lin Xiaofeng what was wrong, but Lin Xiaofeng refused to tell her. Alien pressed again and again, and Lin Xiaofeng told Alien that he might not come to the mainland again when he went back this time. Alien's heart skipped a beat, and her face changed. "Ask why?" Lin Xiaofeng just shook his head, tears kept flowing, and Alien was also anxious. She said, "If you don't say anything anymore, I will be angry and ignore you." Lin Xiaofeng then told her the reason and told her that his father must get him engaged to the daughter of another financial holding company boss. If so, after the engagement, he would definitely leave the travel agency and go to the financial holding company. Got to work. Alian was so confused that she said quietly, "Isn't that great? The prince and the princess are a perfect match." "What a perfect match," Lin Xiaofeng said. "I don't like her at all, and I don't want to be a prince, I just want to be with the person I like." Alien asked, "Who do you like?" Lin Xiaofeng remained silent and looked at Alien, who glanced at him. Lin Xiaofeng's tears flowed down again, and he shook his head in pain. Alien asked him softly, "What's wrong with you? What did I say wrong to make you angry?" Lin Xiaofeng nodded and said, "Yes, you said the wrong thing." Alienki asked, "What did I say wrong?" "Just that sentence." "Which sentence just now?" "You asked me who I like." Alien felt really angry and funny. She said, "I can't even ask this? You haven't told me who you like, so of course I have to ask." Lin Xiaofeng shook his head stubbornly and said with some childish anger, "Everyone else in the world can ask me this question, but you can't ask me." Alien was even more surprised. "Why could other people ask but I couldn't? Don't you know who the person I like is?" Lin Xiaofeng stared at Alien and asked. Alien blurted out, "Who is it?" "You," Lin Xiaofeng said, "the person I like is you." Alien was like a thunderbolt, and she froze there. She felt really indescribable joy in her heart. "This fool, after such a long time, don't you know or see that I like you too?" She really wanted to scold him. After a meal, but reluctant to let go, everyone was already crying, and Alien was so distressed that she couldn't help but scold him. But this was the first time for Alien to experience such a thing, and she didn't know what to do. Alien lowered her head and blushed with shame. Lin Xiaofeng asked her, "Alien, do you like me?" Alien didn't dare to say a word and lowered her head even lower. Lin Xiaofeng said, "Alien, really, I don't like anyone in this world, I just like you. From the first day I saw you, I liked you. Really, as long as I can be with you, I will do whatever you ask me to do." Lin Xiaofeng kept talking, but Alien just didn't dare to say a word, with his head lowered and his face red. Lin Xiaofeng sighed and said, "I know you look down on me, okay, I already know the answer. I know you mainlanders look down on me, a Taiwanese." Lin Xiaofeng said, turning around and preparing to leave. "Who said that?" Alien said softly. Lin Xiaofeng stopped, turned around suddenly and asked, "What did you say, Alien, what did you just say?" "I said, who said mainlanders look down on Taiwanese?" "I think Taiwanese are very good," said Alien. "What about me, Alien, am I okay? Do you like me?" Lin Xiaofeng shouted. Alien raised her head, glanced at him, and nodded. Lin Xiaofeng laughed loudly and climbed up on the counter, trying to climb inside. Alien panicked and pushed him down quickly, but he still reached over and kissed Alien on the cheek. "The face is hot." Next, Lin Xiaofeng acted rogue and insisted on letting Alien open the door. He wanted to come to the counter, but Alien wouldn't let him in, so he said, "Unless you kiss me, I have already kissed you." Alien had no choice but to look around and see no one, then kissed him on the cheek. Lin Xiaofeng collapsed at that time and was so happy that he lay on the marble floor of the lobby and laughed. Alien also laughed, she laughed so hard that tears came down her face. The next day, Lin Xiaofeng asked the whole family to take their group back to Taiwan. He did not go back and stayed in Hangzhou for another week. During that week, Alien took Lin Xiaofeng to play around in Hangzhou. All the spare time they had saved was used up. The two of them were together every day and never separated for a moment. Alien lied to her family that she went on a business trip, but she was actually with Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng no longer stayed at the Huagong Hotel, but at the newly built Friendly Hotel, where Alien gave herself to him. Alien felt that she was the happiest person in the world. Thanks for the tip, Ba Liang. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 758. When Lin Xiaofeng left, he took away many photos of him and Alien. He said he wanted to take them back to show his father and tell him that the person he really liked was a girl from this mainland. Alien panicked and asked, "Will your father lock you up because of this and prevent you from coming to the mainland again?" Lin Xiaofeng smiled and said, Don't worry, my father will definitely like you very much. Who dares not to like my alien? Lin Xiaofeng and alien said that he would be back soon, no more than 10 days and a half, and he would definitely be back. But now more than a month has passed and he has not appeared again. Alien was so anxious. Not only did she miss Lin Xiaofeng very much, but she was also worried about one thing. She was supposed to come to her aunt on the 22nd of every month, but this month, more than 10 days have passed. Oh my God, it still hasn't come. Girls at that time had very little knowledge in this area. Alien was scared to death. She vaguely felt that something big was going to happen and that it was over. No, no, I hope she is not pregnant, Alien prayed in her heart. She felt that she would not be so unlucky, but she didn't know what was going on. She was very anxious, and she had no way to tell others. She couldn't tell her parents about it, nor could she tell her colleagues or friends about it. Besides, Alien didn't have any very good friends. Beautiful for girls, it is difficult to make good friends of the same sex. It's okay to be with the opposite sex, but if you interact with the opposite sex too much, others will say you are messy and call you a bus behind your back. Alien has been paying attention to this since the day she realized she was beautiful. You know, beautiful girls always have a lot of troubles. This is what Alien read in a book. Alien ran to Xinhua bookstore to see if there were books on this subject, but the bookstores at that time had not yet opened shelves. It would be embarrassing for you, a little girl, to ask the salesperson of the bookstore to help you pick up books on this subject. Alien went to the bookstore several times, but in the end she didn't have the courage. She went to the library a few more times, but she didn't even have the courage to go to the shelf of medical books and take out such a book, let alone borrow it. Alien was really worried. She was a girl who loved to smile. Gradually, the smile was taken away from her face. Who took it away? It was not Lin Xiaofeng, that smooth-talking liar. Sometimes Alien couldn't sleep the whole night. In the first half of the night, she missed Lin Xiaofeng very much. Recalling every moment when she was with him, she felt that her heart was so sweet that it almost melted and she couldn't stand it anymore. In the second half of the night, I would think angrily that I had promised to come back, but in the end I didn't come back for such a long time. Your 10 days and a half month have already been multiplied by 2, do you still need to multiply it by 3 times 4? Just leave yourself here and forget about it? This person must be a liar. The supervisor also noticed something strange about Alien, and came over to ask Alien, "What's wrong with you recently, has something happened to you?" When the supervisor asked, Alien couldn't help but burst into tears. The supervisor quickly hugged her. The supervisor was also a girl, as old as Alien. The supervisor knew in his heart that there was a high probability that this girl would cry so sadly. It must be related to love. The supervisor asked Alien if it was true, and Alien quickly shook his head and said no. When Alien said this, the supervisor believed her. She had indeed never seen any boy come here. If Alien had a boyfriend, he would definitely come to pick her up. He would not pick up a boy whose girlfriend gets off work. Never seen it? For problems in this area, the supervisor still has a little experience and can help the staff. But for problems other than this, the supervisor is at a loss. That day, Alien was sitting on the bus and passed when I rode. She saw a small bookstore down there, called the Medical and Health Bookstore. Alien quickly got off the bus at the next stop and ran back. When she arrived at the bookstore, she was overjoyed. She saw that there was only one male salesperson in the bookstore, sitting behind the counter at the door. The inside of the store was open, and customers could browse the books on the shelves at will. Alien quickly walked in. In the corner closest to the inside, she saw at a glance a book called 100 Questions About Female Pregnancy on the shelf. It was a thin volume. Alien knew that there must be the answers she wanted in it. She looked at the salesperson at the door. The salesperson was reading a magazine and eating melon seeds at the same time. He was so busy that he had no time to care about her. Alien was very happy. She had just taken the book off the shelf and was about to read it. 3 big boys came in from outside the door. They walked over mysteriously. Alien quickly stuffed the book on the shelf next to her and pulled out a book. The book on Chinese herbal medicine looks pretentious. She hoped in her heart that these boys would leave quickly. Unexpectedly, these boys walked not far away from her but stood still. One of them pointed at a book on the shelf and shouted softly, "This one, this one, this one has OB in it." He was pointing at a book on childbirth. The 3 of them took the book down and laughed while looking at the schematic diagram in the book. The schematic diagram was actually a very simple diagram of 2 thighs separated, and then demonstrated step-by-step pictures. How a child is born. The 3 boys were excited and their faces were red. They pointed at the book and giggled. They looked at Alien from time to time. They had no intention of leaving at all. Alien was scolding them, little Sith, in her heart. They got out of here quickly, but they didn't dare to speak. Not only did the 3 boys not walk away, but they looked towards the door, met and discussed, and immediately changed their standing positions. The 2 people dispersed, one blocked the view of the salesperson at the door, and the other turned around and saw the evil smile on Alien's face. Alien was shocked. She saw the other one behind the 2 people, taking a picture. He tore out the illustrations one by one and stuffed them into his pocket. After they finished, the 3 boys walked away. One of them stuck out his tongue at Alien and made a face. When they passed by the salesperson didn't even look at them and was just eating melon seeds. After the 3 boys left, Alien quickly picked up the book 100 Questions About Female Pregnancy. The second question she saw was, "How do you know you are pregnant?" Alien quickly opened it, but before she could take a look, 6 or 7 nursing school students with eye-catching school badges poured in from outside the door and rushed toward her. Alien was in a hurry. She had a silk scarf draped over her shoulders. This was given to her by Lin Zhaofeng. He said that the sun was too strong outside and she could put it on the strap of her dress to block the sun when walking outside. Without thinking about it, Alien wrapped the open book with a scarf. The girls came over and scattered around her. Alien's heart was beating fast. If she took the book at this time, taking it out from the scarf, those girls would definitely misunderstand and think that she wanted to steal the book. Alien stood there, feeling like a thief surrounded by a group of old schoolers with no way to escape. She felt a girl looking towards her lower abdomen and then whispering to another one. Alien's face turned red instantly. In fact, they just thought her dress looked good, but Alien had a guilty conscience. She felt that they had already seen that something was wrong with her and that she was pregnant. You know, they learned this. Alien panicked and quickly left them and moved toward the door. At this time, a girl yelled, "Salesperson!" Alien just walked to the door. The salesperson stood up and ran towards that direction without looking at her. It turned out that someone had discovered that the book had been torn. Alien hurriedly walked out the door, and heard the salesperson scolding, "You are such an idiot, Obi, you must be those 3 little Siths." Alien walked out of the bookstore door and walked 20 or 30 meters. The sun was very bright. She wanted to put the scarf in her hand over her shoulders. With a crash, the book fell to the ground. Alien stared at the book for a while. "Then I thought that this book was in that bookstore, and I accidentally wrapped it in a scarf and walked out." She quickly looked in the direction of the door of the bookstore. There was no one there. Alien held the book and hesitated. She wanted to send it back. She wanted to send it back, but what should I say if she sent it back? "You said you didn't mean it." "Zongna. How could I take this kind of book if I took it accidentally?" How could Alien bear the look from that male salesperson? For the first time in her life, Alien decided to steal something. When she thought about it, she seemed to hear the salesperson scolding her, "You are such an obie." Alien couldn't help but start running, faster and faster. She wanted to get as far away from the bookstore as possible. At noon in midsummer, many people saw a beautiful girl running wildly in the sun, with no one chasing her behind. Everyone felt strange. Alien ran until she reached the Yuhangtang River, then she stopped and looked behind her to make sure no one was chasing her. Her limbs were so weak from running that she was about to die, and her whole body was already soaked. She saw a shade tree by the Yuhangtang River, so she walked over and leaned against the tree. The book remained open and was held in her hand. The sweat on her palms had soaked the paper. She quickly picked it up and looked at it. Fortunately, it was not the page she needed. Alien quickly turned to the page and took a look. Suddenly she felt like the world was spinning. She was leaning against the tree trunk and could no longer stand. She sat down softly on the grass. According to the book, in her situation, it is very likely that she is pregnant. What should I do? The book suggested that you go to the hospital for further examination and confirmation. You obie. Alien felt like she was about to curse. She went to the hospital for a checkup. If she could go to the hospital for a checkup, why should I go through such great suffering for a crappy book like yours? Alien waved her hand and wanted to throw the book away. She raised her hand in the air but was reluctant to let it go and put it down. I'm pregnant. What should I do? Lin Zhaofeng, you big liar, you got me pregnant and you can't escape by yourself? Alien, you stupid lure fool, don't you still think you are the happiest person in the world? At the friendly hotel, didn't you scumbag, shamelessly ask for more? Alien really wanted to plunge into the Yuhangtang River in front of her, but the water here was so dirty and smelly. Even if she died, would her face be in a mess? I won't do it. Alien sat there blankly alone. Mosquitoes and midges were in the grass, killing her and chewing them all over her body, but she was still unconscious. She sat there until everything around her was completely plunged into darkness. The night wind blew, and waves of stench came up from the river below. She still sat there blankly, looking at the darkness in front of her. There were two people along the river, using batteries to electrocute the fish, and they approached her. They finally woke her up from the darkness. She jumped up, stood up quickly, and left there quickly before they reached them. When I walked to the road, I realized that I was extremely itchy all over my body. When I touched it with my hand, I found that there were bumps on both of my bare arms. As she walked, Alien started crying. I'm already so unlucky, why do you still bully me? She walked far away and found that the book and scarf had been dropped by the river without taking them. Alien immediately thought that it was the scarf given to her by Lin Zhaofeng, and a voice immediately cursed, "You 6 children, there are no people left, why do you care about scarves or not?" Alien walked like this and cried. Thanks for the tip, Ba Liang. Thank you to Wooden Man, Laughing and Running Y, Edison, Uncle Wang Pacino, Lu, Gigi, Cup Guy API, Daypen, Lao Chantang, Bahuas, Xiaoxian Zibao, Book Friends 130806232807105 for your monthly votes. Thank you for all the votes and reading. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 759. Lin Zhaofeng did not appear again, and Alien's worries and longings grew day by day. When she was lying on the bed alone, with her hands on her stomach, she felt that the place was getting bigger day by day. She did not even dare to go to the employee bathroom. She was afraid that others would see that her belly was already very big, but in fact, nothing had changed there. When Alien lowered her head again, She was not smiling, but sighing. The supervisor looked at her and was helpless. Their work rules require that you must smile when you treat customers, but there is no requirement. You must also smile when there are no customers. Smile, even though that's how Alien turned out to be. In the dead of night, Alien thought about whether she would die like that, just like the female classmate in the next class. But when she thought about dying, she realized that there were so many reasons not to die. In fact, the biggest reason was not just one word, that is fear. Another group from Xin Chen Travel Agency came to stay at the hotel. Alien hesitated for a long time, and finally asked the team leader, "Why Lin Xiaofeng, the team leader of your company, didn't come?" The other party shook his head and said, "I don't know him." Alien asked, "How come you don't know each other? Aren't you from the same company?" The other party smiled and said, "It's normal for a company's leader not to know each other. Everyone leads their own group outside and they won't bump into each other. They may bump into each other throughout the year, that is, at the end of the year, but as a travel agency, how many people with a job like a tour leader can work in a travel agency for a full year, and then just jump to wherever the salary is higher?" Alien knew that the way the other party was talking about was our year-end work dinner. It seemed that at least at the last dinner, it was either him or Lin Xiaofeng. There was always one of them, and they hadn't come to the Xin Chen Travel Agency yet. Alien was working in the middle shift that day and got off work at 9 o'clock in the evening. She went to the bicycle shed and unlocked her bicycle. When she was about to ride home, someone hugged her from behind. Alien didn't have to look back. She knew who it was just by her breath, and regardless of the fact that this was her workplace and others might see her at any time, she turned around, hugged him, and started crying. The person who came was none other than Lin Xiaofeng. When Alien stopped crying, he wiped her tears with his hand. The two looked at each other and laughed. Lin Xiaofeng picked up the bicycle that had fallen aside and rode on it. He asked Alien to sit on the back, and Alien sat on it. After leaving the gate of Huagong Hotel, she put her arms around Lin Xiaofeng's waist and pressed her face against his. On her back, she felt like Lin Xiaofeng really came to pick her up from get off work. They still went to the friendly hotel, and he asked for her again, and she gave it to him. After calming down, Alien told Lin Xiaofeng that she might be pregnant. "Really?" Lin Xiaofeng jumped off the bed and looked at her and asked. Alien nodded. "Great," Lin Xiaofeng shouted, "have you been to the hospital for a checkup?" "How dare I go to the hospital for this kind of thing," Alien cursed. "For this kind of thing, don't you just have to go to the hospital and listen to the doctor's advice?" Lin Xiaofeng was surprised. "You think it's your Taiwan?" Alien said angrily. "It's the same everywhere," Lin Xiaofeng said. "Okay, it's okay. Isn't there a hospital opposite this hotel? We'll go there early tomorrow morning. I'll go with you." Even Alien herself found it strange that something so difficult seemed not difficult at all with Lin Xiaofeng by her side. Alien was not afraid of anything anymore. She actually nodded in agreement with "yeah." Lin Xiaofeng told Alien that the reason why it took him so long to come to the mainland was because his mother was ill and living in the hospital. He turned down 2 tours because of this. No, he would come as soon as his mother recovered from her illness. After the group arrived in Shanghai, he asked his whole companion to take the group to Huangshan first, and he ran to Hangzhou himself. The next morning, Lin Xiaofeng really accompanied Alien to the #1 hospital of the city. Only then did Alien realize that the hospital was not as scary as she imagined. Lin Xiaofeng accompanied her to the obstetrics and gynecology department, and the middle-aged doctor examined her. After that, she asked Lin Xiaofeng, "Are you her boyfriend?" Lin Xiaofeng nodded and said yes. "Why are you so careless?" the doctor asked. Lin Xiaofeng laughed and said that there was no way, it would take a long time for us to see each other. The doctor seemed to understand, and then told them that they were already more than a month pregnant, Should they still have an abortion? Lulu, of course I will stay, Lin Xiaofeng said with a smile. The doctor slapped the pen in his hand on the table and cursed, "You men know how happy you are, right? Bleeding, bleeding, do you know how much influence bleeding has on a woman's body?" Lin Xiaofeng was scolded by the doctor for being confused. He said, "Don't every woman have to get pregnant and give birth? Why does this have such a big impact on women?" The doctor then realized that Lin Xiaofeng had misheard, and she laughed, "Where are you from? You can't understand Chinese." "I'm from Taiwan," Lin Xiaofeng said to the doctor. The doctor laughed so hard that he couldn't stand up straight. After laughing, he said to Lin Xiaofeng, I'm sorry. The abortion I mentioned was the abortion." Lin Xiaofeng also smiled and said, "When I say stay, I mean to keep, to stay, to stay. We want to keep this child." "Well, I wish you happiness," the doctor said and called the next one. During the whole process, Alien was confused. Only when she walked outside did she understand. She asked Lin Xiaofeng, "What did you mean by what you just said to the doctor?" "I said we wanted to keep the baby. She thought we were going to have an abortion. How could that be possible? How could we not want our baby? Otherwise, he would hate us to death." After hearing this, Alien felt very happy, but also felt that something seemed wrong. She said, "Give birth, how to give birth, you, me?" Lin Xiaofeng understood what she meant and said, "Of course we want to get married." "Marry?" Alianqi said that she liked Lin Xiaofeng, but she had never thought about getting married. Maybe she was young and felt that she was still far away from getting married. From the bottom of her heart, Alien still felt that she and Lin Xiaofeng were from two different worlds, one in Taiwan and the other in mainland China. "How could we get married?" Of course Lin Xiaofeng told her, "It's just a little troublesome, but what's the trouble? In the words of your mainland, isn't it true that where there is a will, there is a way?" Alien couldn't help but laugh. She didn't expect that where there is a will, there is a way, and it would be useful here. Only when they returned to the friendly hotel and Lin Xiaofeng talked to her did Alien realize how troublesome this was. Lin Xiaofeng said that when he returns to Taiwan, he will take his and his parents' household registers and go to the court to apply for a notarized certificate of singleness. He will also need to obtain a notarized certificate of direct blood relationship and collateral blood relationship within 3 generations between him and Alien. And then the court will send a copy of the notarial certificate to the Straits Exchange Foundation in Taiwan. Then, the SEF will send a copy of the notarized certificate to the Notary Association of the Zhejiang Provincial Department of Justice. After they confirm receipt, we will first go to the Justice Department to get the seal stamped, and then go to the Foreign Marriage Registration Office of the Provincial Department of Civil Affairs. Registration of marriage. Lin Xiaofeng told Alien that he had thought about getting married for a long time, and he had understood the entire process. It was so complicated that Alien felt like her head was spinning, but she still felt sweet when she heard that Lin Xiaofeng had long wanted to marry her. Lin Xiaofeng told her that it didn't matter, he would take care of it, and Alien just had to wait. Alien agreed humbly that as long as she could be with Lin Xiaofeng, she would just wait. At noon that day, Alien took Lin Xiaofeng home to meet her parents. Of course, her parents were furious when they saw that Alien had not come home all night, and now she suddenly brought a man back and said they were going to get married. But when they saw Lin Xiaofeng bring out a thick stack of 50,000 yuan and heard that he was Taiwanese and his father was a big boss, they stopped talking. Lin Xiaofeng said to them, "I'm sorry. I know that your mainland customs have changed and you don't pay attention to this, but according to our Taiwanese customs, you must give a betrothal gift when you come to propose marriage, so please accept it." Alien's father said, and he also said that our mainland now also pays attention to this. This represents consent. Now that I have agreed, the next thing is easier to handle, which is to discuss how to get married. When discussing this, I discovered a problem, that is, the mainland's marriage law stipulates that a woman must be over 20 years old before she can get married, and this year, Alien is only 19 years old, and it will take another year and a half until she turns 20. Lin Xiaofeng and Alien then told Alien's parents that Alien was already pregnant and they could wait, but the child in her belly could not wait. In the end, it was Alien's father who came up with the idea. He said that we can just get married like this. The registration is just a piece of paper. For us Chinese, it depends on whether you can serve the wine when you get married. Some have been married for decades, but there is no such thing. If you go to register, as long as you serve the wine and your relatives and friends know that you are married, that will be fine. Lin Xiaofeng smiled and said, "Dad still has a way, then we will do what Dad said." Alien's mother is more attentive. She said, "There is another trouble, that is, if you haven't registered, even if you serve wine, everyone will know that you are married, but when you give birth to a child, your work unit, hospital, and police station will not recognize you." Yes, the family planning department is in charge there. Without registration, and not getting the birth certificate, Alien would probably be expelled from the unit. Lin Xiaofeng said, "Mom, don't worry about this. After we got married, even if Alien went to work, I couldn't bear to leave. Before they could fire Alien, we ourselves were fired from the company. In Taiwan, after getting married, women are those who go home to take care of their children, rarely go to work." This is good, Alien's mother said. "This woman has to go to work and take care of her children. It's really hard. Taiwan is better." Lin Xiaofeng then told Alien's parents that there are two others. "I have also thought about it. My father's friend has opened a hospital in Shenzhen, a Sino-foreign joint venture hospital. When the time comes, Alien will go there to give birth. They will not if he refuses to accept us, his grandson. My father will definitely call his friend and ask him to take good care of Alien." "Shameless, how did you know it was a boy?" Alien cursed at the side, and the other three laughed. Lin Xiaofeng said, "Same thing, I also like girls more." As for the household registration, Lin Xiaofeng said that it doesn't matter if we don't have a household registration now. In a year and a half, when Alien is old enough, we can register. After registration, we still don't want them to give us a household registration. "Alian, don't you also want to go to Taiwan? After registration, we will go to Taiwan. You and our children will become Taipei residents, and you will even need your household registration here. Being cancelled, let alone our children, what kind of household registration do we need?" "Ah, Alien is going to Taiwan," Alien's mother asked. Alien's father scolded, "Marry a chicken, marry a dog, follow a dog. When Alien marries a Taiwanese, of course she goes to Taiwan. When Alien goes to Taiwan, she goes to be a rich wife, not to suffer hardships. What are you worried about?" After everything was settled, the next step was to renovate the home and treat Alien's room as their new house. The wedding banquet was held at the Shangri-La Hotel by the West Lake, which made Alien's parents feel more proud. Lin Xiaofeng and Alien's parents said that it was a pity that his parents wanted to come, but his family's status was a bit sensitive and it was not convenient to come. His father turned out to be a senior official in the Kuomintang. Alien's mother asked, "Can't you come now?" Alien's father scolded, "You really don't understand anything. You are afraid of being arrested as a reactionary when you come here. You know, look at Baljong, why do you never dare to come back? Thanks for the tip, Ba Liang. Thank you for your monthly pass for Ba Liang, reading books every day, ranking third from top to bottom, Baby Tin Soldier, and On the Shore 131. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 760. After the wedding banquet between Alien and Lin Xiaofeng, Lin Xiaofeng stayed in Hangzhou for 2 more days before returning to Taiwan. At that time, it was very convenient for Taiwanese to come to the mainland, but it was very inconvenient for mainlanders to go to Taiwan. More than 10 days later, when Lin Xiaofeng came back to Hangzhou from Taiwan, he told Alien that he took back the photos of their wedding and showed them to his parents. His parents were very happy, liked Alien very much, and made her feel at ease. To nourish his body with his mind, his father had already called his friend in Shenzhen, who said that Alien could go to Shenzhen anytime. Lin Xiaofeng asked Alien to resign from his workplace. He told Alien that he had also resigned from the travel agency and went to work in his father's financial holding company. There was no other way. I still have something to ask him for, but he didn't listen to him. No, Lin Xiaofeng laughed. Alien knew what Lin Xiaofeng said about asking his father for something. Alien also smiled and said, "You should listen to your father. Anyway, sooner or later you have to go back to your home company." Lin Xiaofeng sighed and said that he also knew this. Even after he went to the financial holding company, the financial holding company's business was very busy, and it was all business on the island. He couldn't be like a travel agency and come here often. Mainland. Alien laughed at him for being hopeless. "I live in my own home, and I still have my parents at home. What do you have to worry about? It's only a few months and it will pass in a flash. Don't worry." Lin Xiaofeng went to the Post and Telecommunications office, applied for a phone for his home, paid a deposit, and opened an international long-distance call. Lin Xiaofeng taught Alien how to make international long-distance calls and told Alien that if anything happened, she must call him. Alien said yes. Lin Xiaofeng left a sum of money and returned to Taiwan to work in his father's financial holding company. Every 2 or 3 days, he would make overseas phone calls to Alien and ask about this and that. After Alien quit her job, she stayed at home. At most, she only went for a walk around her home every day. She didn't bother to go to other places. She found that she was really getting lazy. Her mother smiled and said to her, "Pregnant women are like this." At that time, Alien's father had already found a relationship and went to secretly check up on Alien. He found out that Alien was pregnant with a boy. When Lin Xiaofeng called, he told the news like a treasure. Lin Xiaofeng was also very happy after hearing this. Ever since he had Lin Xiaofeng, his Taiwanese son-in-law, Alien's father seemed to have become more and more angry with others and his voice became louder and louder. Lin Xiaofeng called again, and Alien told him about the matter. Lin Xiaofeng said, "Alien, this matter is very important. Please wait a moment. I will hang up first. I want to discuss it with my father." Alien said yes. After a while, Lin Xiaofeng called and told Alien that "I just told my father." What he meant was that he might as well go to the hospital in Shenzhen early. The hospital environment is good, so just treat it as a recuperation, and, now you are in Hangzhou, and perinatal health insurance is not available, which always makes people a little worried. When you get there, you can do anything. Alien knows that the perinatal key insurance that Lin Xiaofeng mentioned is perinatal health care. Because Alien does not have a birth certificate, she cannot get a perinatal health care card. Without a health care card, she cannot get a checkup. What is the correct status of fetal development? She didn't know if it was abnormal. Alien herself was a little worried. After hearing what Lin Xiaofeng said, she said, "Yes, I will listen to my father." 2 days later, Lin Xiaofeng came over from Taiwan and flew to Shenzhen with Alien. At the Shenzhen airport, a woman came to pick them up. Lin Xiaofeng introduced to Alien that this was Miss Zheng from their company. Miss Zheng is his assistant. If he is busy with work in the future, Miss Zheng will often travel between Taiwan and Shenzhen. Alien said yes. Miss Zheng drove the two of them to the Sino-Foreign Joint Venture Hospital. The hospital was right on the seaside and the environment was really good. The boss was a Taiwanese, a friend of Lin Xiaofeng's father. He expressed his appreciation for their arrival. A warm welcome. He arranged Alien in a suite and told Alien that if he had any requirements, he could tell the nurse at any time. After sending Alien to Shenzhen, Lin Xiaofeng had something to do and returned to Taiwan that day. Miss Zhang stayed in a suite. Alien lived in the inner room and Miss Zhang lived in the outer room. She told Alien to call her if anything happened. Miss Zhang is a very nice person. She accompanied Alien to buy clothes and some cosmetics. Alien has never been to Shenzhen before and is not familiar with Shenzhen at all. Miss Zhang takes her here and there to play and eat every day. Delicious. Miss Zhang was older than Alien. After the two got acquainted, Alien called her sister. Miss Zhang did not travel between Taiwan and Shenzhen as Lin Xiaofeng said, but stayed with her in Shenzhen. The two of them were as close as a family and talked about almost everything. Even when sleeping at night, Alien begged her to don't sleep outside, come in and sleep in a big bed to yourself. Apart from making phone calls, Lin Xiaofeng had no time to come over. Miss Zhang told Alien that he had no experience in financial holding companies before, and he did not major in finance in college. Now he can only improvise. Our financial holding company, you also know that you can't be sloppy at all in your work, otherwise you will lose all your money. Alien said, I know, I don't miss him at all with my sister here. It would be better if he didn't come, and we could sleep together. If he comes, I'm still worried that he will transfer her back to Taiwan. Don't worry, Miss Zhang smiled, although I am his assistant, he can't move me. Only the chairman can move me. The chairman has told me that I can't leave Shenzhen until you give birth. Alien knew that the chairman Miss Zhang was talking about was Lin Xiaofeng's father, her future father-in-law. Although she had never met him, he took such good care of her. Alien felt a little moved when she heard that. Alien gave birth to her son successfully in Shenzhen, but Lin Xiaofeng still came and left in a hurry. He complained that he was a newbie, and when he entered the company, the old people relied on their elders and some bullied him. Miss Zhang smiled and said, now you know that you are a novice. When the chairman asked you to come to the company, why didn't you come? Lin Xiaofeng said, luckily I didn't come. If I had come, I wouldn't have been able to meet Alien. Alien was listening and laughing. Lin Xiaofeng left, but Ms. Zhang stayed in Shenzhen to accompany Alien. Her son was very well behaved and very cute. Alien and Ms. Zhang both liked her very much. The son also liked Ms. Zhang very much. Others would cry when he hugged her. But as soon as he got it into Miss Zhang's hands, he immediately stopped crying and moved Miss Zhang so much that she almost shed tears. The son's name is Hu, which was named by Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng said, our son just wants Hu to be successful. Miss Zhang was very reluctant to let go of Hu. She held him every day and couldn't bear to give him back to Alien except for breastfeeding. Alien smiled and said, my sister likes him so much, so I might as well give it to you. Miss Zhang pretended to run away. She said, then I really took her away. Okay, you can take her away, Alien smiled. Miss Zhang sighed and shook her head. She said, forget it. I am not afraid of Lin Xiaofeng, but I am afraid of the chairman. If the chairman knows that I took his grandson away, he will not spare me. The two men laughed. They stayed in Shenzhen for more than a month and finished their confinement before returning to Hangzhou. It was Miss Zhang who sent their mother and son back. Lin Xiaofeng called and said he was coming. Alien said, don't come. It's okay if my sister is here. When we arrived in Hangzhou, it was the opposite of what we had in Shenzhen. Miss Zhang had never been to Hangzhou before, so Alien took her everywhere. The two of them were pushing the baby stroller and taking Hu with them, going in and out every day. Alien recovered very quickly, not at all like a mother who had just given birth to a child 2 months ago. People from the neighborhood committee came to Alien's house again to see that their son had been born. They also heard that in half a year, Alien would go through the formalities and settle in Taiwan, so they didn't bother to worry about it anymore. Lin Xiaofeng called and told Alien that he was trying to establish a relationship and try to let Alien go to Taiwan. His parents couldn't wait to see their grandson. Because Lin Xiaofeng and Alien had not yet registered their marriage, she could not go to Taiwan as a dependent. At that time, mainlanders were not allowed to travel to Taiwan, and they could only travel in a business capacity. Alien's procedure in mainland China is very simple. She just needs to go to the Public Security Bureau and apply for a mainland residence travel permit to Taiwan. Miss Zheng accompanied her to apply for it. After applying for the pass, Miss Zheng told her that she had to go to the police station again. Get a certificate of no criminal record. Alien laughed to death. What kind of crime could I do to do this? However, she still remembered that she had stolen a book, which was 100 questions about female pregnancy. Good boy, luckily that he was not caught at the time. If he was caught and sent to the police station, wouldn't he be able to get this certificate and would be unable to go to Taiwan? Huh, that was also your fault, Lin Xiaofeng. Who asked you to agree to 10.5 months, but you didn't come back for a month? If you can't go, you can't go. Our mother and son stayed in Hangzhou, leaving you, Lin Xiaofeng, to be single in Taiwan. At this time, Alien thought about what happened that day again, as if it was a lifetime ago, and she couldn't help but laugh. The troublesome thing was to apply for the Taiwan entry and exit permit from the Taiwan Immigration Department. Miss Zheng helped her organize all the information and send it to Taiwan. Half a month later, Lin Xiaofeng called her and said excitedly, "It has been processed, Alien, I will send the entry permit to you today." When Alien received the light green paper, she and Miss Zheng hugged each other happily. Alien shouted, "Sister, I can finally take Huhu to Taiwan." Miss Zheng looked at her and smiled. She said, "I can finally go home. Thanks for the tip, Ba Liang. Thank you Muyanxiang and Brokeback Mountain for your monthly passes. Thank you for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life."